An invasive species is a plant or animal that is not native to a specific location, an introduced species, and has a tendency to spread, which is believed to cause damage to the environment, human economy, and human health. One study pointed out widely divergent perception of the criteria for invasive species among researchers and concerns with the subjectivity of the term invasive. We will now mention some alternative terms. The term as most often used applies to introduced species that adversely affect the habitats and biorhythms they invade economically, environmentally, and/or ecologically. Such invasive species may be either plants or animals and may disrupt by dominating a region, wilderness area, particular habitats, or wildland-urban interface land from loss of natural control such as predators or herbivores.
This includes non-native invasive plant species labeled as exotic pest plants and invasive exotic growing in native plant communities. It has been used in the sense by government organizations as well as conservation groups such as the International Union for Conservation of Nature and the California Native Plant Society. The European Union defines invasive alien species as those that are, firstly, outside their national distribution area, and secondly, threatened by biological diversity. It is also used by land managers, botanists, researchers, conservationists, and the public for noxious weeds. The kudzu vine, Andean pampas grass, and yellow star thistle are examples. An alternate usage broadens the term to include indigenous or native species, along with non-native species that have colonized natural areas. Deer are an example, considered to be overpopulating their native zones and adjacent suburban gardens by some in the northeastern and Pacific coast regions of the United States.
Invasive species cause harm to wildlife in many ways. When a new and aggressive species is introduced into an ecosystem, it might not have any natural predators or controls. It can breed and spread quickly, taking over an area. Native wildlife may not have involved defenses against the invader, or they cannot compete with a species that has no predators. Invasive species can change the food web in an ecosystem by destroying or replacing native food sources. The invasive species may provide little to no food value for wildlife. Invasive species can alter the abundance of diversity of species that are important habitat for native wildlife. Aggressive plant species like kudzu can quickly replace a diverse ecosystem with a monoculture of just kudzu. Some invasive species are capable of changing the condition in an ecosystem, such as changing soil chemistry or the intensity of wildfires.
Sometimes, invasive species are introduced into regions as a form of biological pest control. The cane toad is often cited as the perfect example of an introduced species gone horribly wrong. The cane toad is native of South and Central America, but when it's introduced into regions of Hawaii, the Caribbean, and Philippines to fight pest insurgents, fields yielded impressive results. It was quickly imported to various other regions worldwide. Unfortunately, cane toads have a nasty habit of not just eating crop pests and insects, but also just about any terrestrial animal, and they can fit their grotesquely huge mouths around, which is saying something, given that they can grow over 30 centimeters in length. They also secrete toxins capable of killing just any animal they come in contact with, meaning that they tend to be seriously lacking in the natural predator department.
Pheromones are used to communicate danger between toad tadpoles that have significant impacts on their size and survival. The alarm pheromones are released into a pond when a tadpole is frightened or injured and warns other tadpoles to flee the area. The signal stresses to toad tadpoles so much that in the field trials, around half of them died before they became adult tadpoles, and those that become adults were half the size they should have been. The pheromones were also found to be different those of the Australian frogs and didn't affect them. Using the lungworm parasite and the alarm pheromone together will be particularly powerful, as the pheromone either kills or produces smaller toadlets, and the parasite is more effective at killing these similar-sized toads.
One cell life gets its energy from the sunlight. They are producers. Shrimp-like creatures are herbivores and they eat the one-celled life. Small fish eat the shrimp-like creatures. They are the first carnivore. Then the tuna eats the small fish. The tuna is the second carnivore. And the large shark eats the tuna, and it is the third carnivore in the food web.